Thank you, Toda-san, for your kind introduction. I'm Masato HORI, and I'm working at Japan Atomic Energy Agency. Thank you for inviting me. Thank you for organizer for inviting me to this meeting. This is actually my first time to visit Estonia, and I'm very enjoying staying in Estonia. And also thank you for selecting safeguards as one of the topics of this seminar. I've been working in the area of safeguards, nuclear security, and non-proliferation for about 40 years, mainly as facility operator, implementing safeguards, and also developing research and development on safeguards equipment. And also I've been working at IAEA from 2010 to 2016 as senior safeguards analyst. So I think some of you are not familiar with safeguards. So I will try to do my best for you to improve your knowledge about safeguards. So these are the content of my presentation. Can I step here? So those are the history of nuclear non-proliferation. And then I will talk about international legal framework, which is safeguards agreement and protocols, and importance of universalization of safeguards agreement and protocol to strengthen nuclear non-proliferation. And number 4 is safeguards implementation. And also I'll talk about optimization of IAEA safeguards and state-level approach. This is a current new movement in safeguards. And IAEA is facing challenge in funding. So I will talk about IAEA safeguards resources. And I also talk about there are many challenges in safeguards. So I'll talk about those challenges. So let me start from history of nuclear non-proliferation. As you may know, uranium fission, or other word, nuclear energy, was discovered in 1938 by Lise Meitner and Otto Hahn. They are Austrian and German scientists. And 1 year later, 1939, Albert Einstein and Leo Szilard. So they are Italian and Hungarian scientists, but they already moved to United States, and they are citizens of United States. And they sent letter to U.S. President, that this nuclear energy can be used to make a very strong weapon. And before enemy developed this strong weapon, U.S. should develop that. So then Manhattan Project started in 1945. First atomic explosions, it's called Trinity test, was tested in New Mexico, United States, and then Hiroshima and Nagasaki. So within only 7 years, the strong power of nuclear energy was demonstrated. So nuclear energy has a high-density energy resource. And in a Trinity test, it's demonstrated that it can be used for weapon. So in case of Hiroshima bombing, little boy is used as a nuclear explosive device, and it used 64 kilograms of U-235. And only about 1.38% of the uranium fission. But even that, it produced 15 kiloton TNT yield. It is equivalent to 17,000 megawatt hour electricity. And after Trinity test, 6 years after Trinity test, in 1951, EBR-1, which is first nuclear power plant, was started operation in Idaho, USA. So it was nuclear energy was used for peaceful purpose to generate electricity. So roughly 1 gram of U-235 generates 8 megawatt hour electricity, can supply electricity for 2.7 years for an average Japanese family. So nuclear energy can be used for weapon and also used for peaceful purpose. So, US President Eisenhower made a very famous statement, which is Atoms for Peace speech in 1953 at the United Nations General Assemblies. And the speech led to international recognition of the destructive power of nuclear weapons and realization of the damage of proliferation of this technology and development of an International Atomic Energy Agency, IAEA, and advanced discussion to limit the use of nuclear weapons and promotion of peaceful use of nuclear energy. So after this speech, there was discussion in the United Nations, and IAEA was established in 1957 based on IAEA statute. So in Article 2, it's about the objectives of IAEA. It has basically two objectives. One is to seek, accelerate, and enlarge the contribution of atomic energy to peace, health, and prosperity. And also, it ensure is not used in such a way as to further any military purpose. So promote peaceful use of energy and prevent proliferation of nuclear weapon. So how to do that? And answer is safeguards. So IAEA has been started developing safeguard system since 1959, and first safeguards was applied to Canada and Japan, and also several states with a research reactor also started inspection in 1961, and from 1968 under item-specific agreement, the safeguards was applied to many states. In parallel to development of safeguard system in IAEA, there was discussion on NPT, Non-Proliferation Treaty, and the Non-Proliferation Treaty entered into force in March 1970. So it's 13 years after establishment of IAEA. And original NPT has 25 years is a kind of expiration of the treaty. But before that, in 1995, it was extended indefinitely. So NPT is effective for forever now. So under the NPT, there are two groups of states. So one is nuclear weapon states. So under the NPT, there are only 5 nuclear weapon states: US, UK, France, Russia, and China. So they are agreed not to provide nuclear weapon to non-nuclear weapon states. And for non-nuclear weapon states agreed not to seek to acquire nuclear weapons and to accept safeguards on all nuclear material. So by NPT, safeguards became mandatory for all non-nuclear weapon states. And also NPT promote peaceful use of nuclear energy. So we said that the treaty as all state parties to the treaty have the right to participate in the exchange of equipment, materials, and scientific and technological information for peaceful use of nuclear energy. So this is Article 4. And let me talk about safeguards legal framework now. So purpose of IAEA safeguards is to verify states undertaking under their respective safeguards agreement with the agency. And the safeguards conclusion drawn by the agency provide assurance to the international community that states are abiding by their safeguards obligation under those agreements. So this is actually purpose of safeguards. I think this morning Professor Okamoto explained about safety. So safety is basically to protect human or properties or environment. But for safeguards, it's to provide assurance that the state is abiding their safeguards obligation. So this is a big difference. So in short term, it's just a confidence building measure safeguards, but for the long term, the safeguards can prohibit a proliferation of nuclear weapons. That will help our safe and reliable life in the future, in the long term. So obligation of an IAEA verification activities vary depending on the safeguards agreement and protocols that each states enter into force. So there are 3 types of safeguards agreements. So one is comprehensive safeguards agreement, so CSA, or some people say INSIRC 153. This is a IAEA document number. So this CSA, by CSA, enter into force based on NPT Article 3.1 and Nuclear Weapon Free Zone Treaty, like Tlatelolco Treaty or other treaties. And all nuclear material in all peaceful nuclear activity in the state, its scope of that is all nuclear material. On the other hand, there is also item-specific safeguards agreement, or in other words, it's called INSIRC 66. This is for the state have not entered into force the NPT. Those are India, Pakistan, and Israel. So this is only focused on items, specific items subject to safeguards. Another one is voluntary offer agreement, VOAs. This is only for 5 nuclear weapon states, and the safeguards is limited only for selected facility. So last year, only 9 facilities were selected for safeguards for these 5 nuclear weapon states. So the objective of safeguards are different for each type of safeguards agreement. For CSA, scope is all nuclear material of all peaceful activities in the state. And there are 3 general objectives. Those are to detect any diversion of declared nuclear material, and to detect any undeclared production or processing of nuclear material. In other words, it's called misuse of facility, declared facility. And number 3 is to detect any undeclared nuclear material or activities in the state as a whole. And for item-specific safeguards agreement, it's only for 3 states, India, Pakistan, and Israel. Its scope is only specific items subject to safeguards in the state. So those are nuclear material or facilities that transfer from other countries. For instance, for Pakistan, only CANDU reactor supplied by Canada is subject to this agreement. And India, they exported many reactors from foreign countries like United States. So those are under item-specific safeguards agreement. And VOA, it's only applied for selected facilities. So, as I mentioned, only 9 facilities are under VOA's safeguards. And for item specifics, it's only the objective is to detect diversion and to detect misuse. And for VOA, to detect undeclared withdrawal of nuclear material in the selected facility. So basically, nuclear weapon state can withdraw nuclear material from safeguards, but the safeguards applied to VOA is to detect undeclared withdrawal of nuclear material from the selected facility. So these are the big, so that there are big differences among these 3 agreements. And there are 2 protocols for safeguards agreement. One is additional protocol, we call AP. It's INFSARC 150. It's also called INFSARC 150. And this is a protocol to strengthen the effectiveness and improve the efficiency of safeguards. So this was developed after Gulf War. And after the Gulf War, UN inspection team find that Iraq was engaged in undeclared activity, which IAEA couldn't detect. So this protocol is to strengthen IAEA safeguards. So IAEA get new mandates, including expanded safeguards coverage and complementary access. So complementary access, they can request anywhere in the state. And small quantity protocol, SQP, is a protocol designed to facilitate the conclusion of safeguards agreements by states that do not possess or possess only small quantity of nuclear material. So this is for small state. And the safeguards agreement, in the small state, they are not so interested in entering into force safeguards agreement. So this protocol was made. But the original SQP, it's how to say? It's hold the abeyance of most of safeguards implementation procedure in the CSA, but the original one was kind of too much. IAEA cannot do anything at the state, even they are doing something. So they revised SQP and in 2005, so to strengthen safeguards for small states. So this is the example of difference between CSA and AP coverage. So these are nuclear fuel cycles, starting from mining and conversion, enrichment, conversion again, and fuel fabrication, and use at the reactor. And spent fuel, like Japan, will reprocess and recycle again. But in several other states, they are just going into storage or disposal. And in case of CSA, CSA only covers from nuclear material, which can be used to enriched or used to fabricate fuel for reactor. And also, safeguards will be terminated when it's become waste or when it's disposed. So, but the additional protocol covers more wide, including, so basically all nuclear activity in the state and import-export and R&D without nuclear material and manufacturing of gas centrifuge. This is for uranium enrichment. So basically, coverage of AP will be drastically increased by AP. And let me explain about the universalization of safeguards agreement protocols. So this is the current numbers of safeguards agreements. So you see there are 181 81 states which enter into force. These are non-nuclear weapon states. And also there are 5 nuclear weapon states. So, and also, so 181 non-nuclear weapon states already enter into force CSA, but only 4 hasn't entered into force CSA, and those are basically small states like Guinea or Somalia or Timor-Leste. So those are very small states, and so there are already 138 states enter into force additional protocol in addition to CSA. Those are Estonia, Australia, Canada, and other European states, South Korea, Indonesia, Thailand, UAE, and Japan. So basically, with CSA and AP, IAEA has more wide coverage. So IAEA can apply more effective and efficient safeguards to these 136 states. So on the other hand, there are still 45 states has not entered into force additional protocol. So there are SQP states like Brunei, Lebanon, Papua New Guinea, or San Marino. So these are basically small states. And also there's Myanmar, Nepal, Saudi Arabia, Yemen. So these states has originally SQP and without AP. So IAEA cannot do basically anything to these states. So currently these are the problem. And there are also a CSA without AP with significant nuclear activity. Those are Algeria, Argentina, Brazil, and Egypt, and Iran, Malaysia. So to strengthen IAEA safeguards and strengthen nuclear non-proliferation, universalization of additional protocols, and also revised SQP are very important. So I put color red. So these are the states we really need to focus to strengthen nuclear non-proliferation. So why those states are not entering into force additional protocols? So this is the Laura Lockwood was head of legal office of IAEA. So her observation is some states are unaware of the certain requirements with regard to safeguards, and others are unable to fulfill them due to lack of capacity. And still others are unwilling to fulfill them. And for like Brazil, they have their domestic law that they will not enter into force additional protocols. So they are unwilling to enter into force additional protocol. And from our organization analysis, so to enter into force additional protocols, it requires modify relevant domestic law and regulations and improve preparedness for expanded declaration and complementary access. So some states facing shortage of resources, and some states has limited knowledge of AP and limited experience in safeguards. And some state has low priority in government and cabinet or diet. So my organization, ISCN of Japan Atomic Energy Agency, is also working to provide training and capacity building for states, especially in Asian states. And we are providing support by providing training to give more knowledge or experience in safeguards. So many approaches necessary. For shortage of resources, probably someone need to provide resource to those states to support the state to enter into force additional protocol. So let me move on to safeguards implementation. So safeguards, in a safeguards agreement, this is a CSA. So the objective of safeguards procedure set forth in the agreement is that timely detection of diversion of significant quantity of nuclear material. So timely detection and detection of diversion of significant quantity is an objective. And for the purpose of achieving the objective, material accountancy shall be used as safeguards measures of fundamental importance, and containment and surveillance as important complementary measures. So for safeguards, material accountancy is very important. So timely detection timeliness is 1 year, and to detect diversion of within 1 year of significant quantity of nuclear material. And so significant quantity is an appropriate amount of nuclear material for which the possibility of manufacturing a nuclear explosive device cannot be excluded. So SQ is taking account unavoidable losses due to conversion and manufacturing process and should not be confused with critical masses. So those are, for plutonium, it's 8 kilogram plutonium. And for uranium-233, it's also 8 kilogram. And for HU, high enriched uranium, enriched uranium is uranium that enrichment is higher than 20%. It's 25 kilogram U-235. And for low enriched uranium, like a light water reactor fuel, it's 75 kilogram U-235. So 75 kilogram U-235 is about ton of 5% enriched uranium. And it's about 10 ton of natural uranium and 20 ton of depleted uranium. And for thorium, significant quantity is 20 ton. So you can see that for low enriched uranium, it's easier for IAEA to detect 1 SQ because it's large amount. But for plutonium, it's more difficult because it's small amount, only 8 kilogram, only this amount. So one challenge of IAEA safeguards is to how to detect diversion of plutonium. And so material accountancy is a fundamental importance in IAEA safeguards. So nuclear material accountancy within a framework of IAEA safeguards begins with nuclear material accounting activity of facility operators. And the state, or in case of Europe, there is a Euratom, a regional system of accounting for and control of nuclear material. It is called SSAC or RSAC. It's basically regulatory body implemented in accordance with the provision of safeguards agreement between IAEA and state. So basically they perform material accountancy by measuring how much nuclear material the facility received and how much shipped and how much inventory the facility has. So these are the basic idea of material accountancy. And this is the Japanese framework of IAEA. So here, facility operator perform material accounting here. And then they send accounting report to NRA. This is our nuclear regulatory authority, our regulator. And since Japan, there are many nuclear facility and nuclear material, NRA cannot handle all data or report from facility operators. So there is an organization called Nuclear Material Control Center. They are supporting NRA to processing information or checking information. And then after that, the accounting report will submit it to IAEA through Ministry of Foreign Affairs. So basically, this under CSA report will provide it from facility operator to state authority and IAEA. And IAEA perform inspection. And in case of Japan, Japanese regulatory authority also send inspector to the facility to verify nuclear material. And also, since there are a limited number of inspectors in NRA, they also use NMCC to perform inspection in case of Japan. And in roughly, NRA has 20 staff working for safeguards, and NMCC has around 100 staff working for safeguards. And there are also obligations from under the additional protocol AP. So also facility operators submit additional protocol reports to NRA, and also they use NMCC to check those reports, and then it's submitted to IAEA. And then IAEA perform complementary access. And also our government inspector will accompany complementary access. So for complementary access, the IAEA can announce 24 hours in advance. But in case there's already inspection activity in the facility, in the state, they can also access within 2 hours. So they can. So it's more randomly can be randomly performed. And these are the photos of safeguards inspection. So IAEA and states verified physical inventory at the facility, comparing with accounting reports submitted by operator. And so these, you can see that sometimes IAEA or state inspector takes samples and measure that, and usually they visually observe facility, and also they use NDA, non-destructive assay system, to measure nuclear material inside containers. So physical inventory should be verified by the state within 14 months from the last PIV. So basically every year IAEA perform PIVs. And in addition to PIV, IAEA also perform flow verification. When nuclear material is received from foreign countries, IAEA come and check those nuclear materials. And so complementary containment and surveillance are the CS is a complementary measure for IAEA safeguards. And so seal. So these are the IAEA seals, which is called metal seal. They inside the seal there's a something that looks like fingerprint inside, and which IAEA inspector only knows. So if facility operator open this, they can find out that IAEA can find out it was open. So this is the seal is a tamper indication device used to join movable segment of the containment in the manner such that access to the containment contents without opening a seal or breaking the contents is prevented. So this is a cylinder with nuclear material inside, but to take nuclear material, this valve needs to be open. But if seal is attached, facility operator cannot open valve without removing these seals. And so seal system ensure continuity of knowledge, we call it COK, of the identity and integrity of material concerned. And surveillance or camera. So the purpose of surveillance is to collection of information through direct inspection observation or recording device for use in maintaining COK, continuity of knowledge of nuclear material, containment, IAEA assets, and site activities. So you see here, these are the IAEA's camera. In many nuclear power plants, you can see these cameras above the spent fuel pond. And so these are used. So instead of inspectors' observation, if IAEA install camera, they can drastically reduce inspection effort because they just need to review data from the start. This camera instead of coming and check nuclear material in the facility. And these are the other equipment used for safeguards. For plutonium facility, it requires many measurement equipment. So one measurement equipment uses KH tensiometer. This is required for plutonium solution. And there's inventory sample counter for plutonium solution and MOX powder. And so these are the measurement of nuclear material inside. And also nuclear material going to waste stream. So the measurement system of waste stream, waste drum is sometimes necessary for the state to do adequate material accountancy. And in case of facility using handling nuclear materials powder, the powder stick in a process, so it's called hold up. So in some facility, a hold up measurement system is also installed. So these are the implementation of safeguards in many states. So the safeguards equipment used for inspection is fully depend on what kind of facility are there, and also what kind of nuclear material used in the facility. But right now, IAEA is facing how to say a shortage of budget now. So they are thinking about optimizing IAEA safeguards and state-level approach. So state-level approach, this is kind of new movement. So this is to maintain reliable and credible safeguards against the increasing number and complexity of safeguards issues. And this is to apply safeguards to the entire state, taking into account a country nuclear fuel cycle capability and other factors. I will explain it later. So in the past, IAEA safeguards was focused on facility, but now it's moving to states. So by doing that, it can optimize safeguards within the scope of safeguards agreement. And so this state-level approach is applied in accordance with GOV 2014-41. This is also IAEA document number. And technical meetings have been held since 2014 to continue consultation with member states. And as of December 2023, so 135 out of 181 CSA countries have prepared SLAs. So it covers 97% of total amount of nuclear material under safeguards. And probably some of you may know that Estonia was the very first state that IAEA prepared SLA and implemented SLA. And this is the under SLA. This is called processes to support safeguards implementation. So first, IAEA develops state-level approach. So basically, these consist of acquisition path analysis, and then establish technical objectives, and identify applicable safeguards measures So this is one document that IAEA developed. And then based on that, IAEA develop annual implementation plan and then conduct inspection activity. And if necessary, they will, if they find anomaly or inconsistency, they will perform follow-up actions to the state. And then they draw conclusion. And they collect and evaluate information again, and they reflect that to state level approach. So this is the kind of wheel of IAEA implementation of IAEA safeguards. And how to optimize safeguards in this wheel is they use 6 state-specific factors. Those are the type of safeguards agreement in force for the state and the nature of safeguards conclusion drawn by the agency. So I believe Estonia has a very good record of IAEA safeguards implementation. There's one, I think, reason that Estonia SLA was developed for Estonia in the early stage. And the nuclear fuel cycle and related technical capability of state is also considered. And technical capability of SSAC, state authority, is also important. And ability of agency to implement certain safeguards measures in the state. And nature and scope of cooperation between state and the agency in implementing safeguards. And also agencies' experience in implementing safeguards in the state. So this is called state-specific factor. And so you see, these are the safeguards process. So IAEA, in the internal document of IAEA identified which state-specific factor are used in which process of IAEA safeguards. So this is the example of acquisition path analysis. So acquisition path analysis is analyze how can the state make weapon usable material. So this is one example. So diversion of uranium from conversion plant. So this is declared facility, and they use undeclared facility to make target. And then they use research reactor, which is also declared. So undeclared irradiation at declared research reactor and undeclared reprocessing. So by doing that, the state can make weapon usable material. So they make this acquisition path and established technical objective for each path steps. So those are detection of diversion of declared uranium or undeclared reprocessing of irradiated targets. So they can focus more on each technical objective than facility-based approach. And so after establishing technical objective, so IAEA identifies safeguards measures which is applicable for each technical objective. Those are nuclear material accountancy or inspection or evaluation of open source information. These kind of things IAEA perform and draw conclusion for each state. And then I like to talk about IAEA resources. So overall IAEA budget is 426 million euro. It's overall. And for IAEA safeguards, 167.7 million euro has been spent annually for IAEA inspection. So it's about between 30 to 40% of overall IAEA budget has been spent for safeguards. And IAEA has around 2,560 staff, and 773 staffs are IAEA safeguards in the safeguards department, and most of them are IAEA inspectors. So this is also 30 to 40% of overall IAEA staff. And there are, in addition to that, there are cost-free expert, junior professional officer or consultant that helping safeguards activities. So, and then regarding safeguards budget, it's increasing slightly, but this is reflecting cost of living. So it's not actually increasing, but it's just reflecting cost of living. But every year IAEA is spending most of our budget for that. Probably this is in 2020. This is low because of the COVID-19 pandemic. And this is the safeguards implementation in 2023. And you can see that this is previous year, and this is 2023. So number of safeguard, significant quantity of nuclear material under safeguards, these are increasing. So nuclear material under safeguards are keep increasing, and also nuclear facilities under safeguards are increasing. So, and a number of safeguards, calendar year in the field for verification is also increasing. And currently, price of, air ticket or price of hotel is increasing now. So IAEA is facing budget shortage, and last year IAEA even stopped inspection for a short period of time because of the budget. So they really need to make their safeguard system more efficient. So that is the biggest challenge that IAEA is facing. And so IAEA is publishing basically 2 documents regarding their technical challenge and needs. So one is medium and long-term needs, which is called RMP, Enhancing Capability for Nuclear Verification, Resource Mobilization Priorities. And this is describing what is the long-term need for IAEA safeguards. And short-term needs is documented in Development and Implementation Support Program for Nuclear Verification, DNIS program. So if you see this document, you can find what kind of challenge they're facing. And usually, state like Japan, we are providing support to IAEA, so we develop new equipment or providing support to IAEA based on these documents. And these are the challenges of IAEA safeguards. So those are safeguards for SMR and next generation reactor cycle. So right now, many countries, including Estonia, are planning to install new SMRs. And some estimates say that it could be 200 or 300 in the world. So then IAEA will face further challenge how to get budget to verify those facilities. Another thing is spent fuel verification and safeguards for facility under decommissioning. So in Germany or Japan, there are many spent fuel and it's increasing. And also there are many facilities under decommissioning. And also advancing safeguards for future using blockchain or artificial intelligence, robotics, digital twin, and other. The IAEA is trying to use new technology. And also Iran, JCPOA is a big issue. And DPRK, this is North Korea issue, is another challenge. And AUKUS is a project among Australia, UK, and US for Australia to develop and develop a nuclear submarine. So this is another safeguards challenge, and also Ukraine crisis. So, so I only focus today on this SMRs. So there are many SMRs, and so I write down the safeguards future of SMRs and recycle facility under development. And so those, for instance, like coolant and moderator, IAEA applied safeguards for light water reactor, heavy water reactor, sodium or graphite reactors. But IAEA doesn't have experience of safeguards in coolant or moderator using lead or fluoride salts. And for fuel, the IAEA applied safeguards for oxide or metal, but not for nitride fuel or thorium U-233 or HALEU, LE over 5%, or molten salt or pebble bed reactor. And also, there is a new concept, which is mobile reactor, transportable reactor, or fuel exchange at central plant, or new recycling facility or waste treatment facility. So these are the challenges for IAEA regarding SMRs. So IAEA initiated safeguards by design for small modular reactors. So this is a project that mainly reactor developer or vendors provide information to IAEA to support IAEA to develop effective and efficient safeguards of those reactors. So currently 7 states are participating in this activity. For instance, Russia, they provide this transportable reactor RITM-200M and Canada and South Korea and USA. They have many small SMRs, so they are providing data to IAEA also. And these are my last 2 slides. So, this is the G7 summit, which was held in May last year. So at the summit, there was many discussion on nuclear disarmament and nuclear non-proliferation. And there are many messages come out from this G7 summit. And right now, United Nations is not functioning because several states are rejecting several ideas. And also IAEA Board of Governors is facing similar. So G7 is a kind of, they are more friendly countries, so they can make many statements regarding nuclear non-proliferation. And one statement they made is, we urge all states to take their responsibility seriously to meet the highest standard of safeguards, safety and security in promoting the peaceful use of nuclear energy, science and technology, including those related to the deployment of next generation nuclear technology. And we reaffirm the importance of the implementation of highest standard of safeguards of the IAEA and the universal adoption of the additional protocol as fundamental components of the nuclear non-proliferation regime. So I think these are the message from governments that how safeguards, security, and safety are important for nuclear energy. So this is the end of my presentation. Thank you for your kind attention.
Is there any questions?
I have a question about is International Atomic Energy Agency receiving any information from the states in war at the moment, like Russia and Ukraine, or not?
So they are receiving. Can you put up slide there? So actually I didn't have time to explain, but regarding Ukraine, Ukraine, so they are facing, IAEA is facing problem, but with support from both Russia and Ukraine, so I said that IAEA continued to undertake its vital verification role in Ukraine throughout the year and was able to conduct sufficient in-field verification activity necessary to draw safeguards conclusions. So it looks like IAEA has enough information from both countries to perform inspection in Ukraine.
I have a similar question about North Korea,
Mhm.
which is obviously your main concern.
Yeah.
And they are the only country that has, let's say, this century conducted a substantial number of nuclear tests.
Yeah.
And or nuclear explosion tests, and would you say that the sanctions regime that is established internationally for the breach of those non-proliferation treaties is sufficient enough to discourage the North Korean regime?
So they actually North Korea quit from NPT. So NPT doesn't have any power but under NPT there is a export control regime that help international society to not to provide sensitive equipment to DPRK, North Korea. So the sanction and the basic idea, the export control is working, but still DPRK is getting nuclear material or equipment from other countries. So yeah, sanction is working, but still they're improving their nuclear weapon now.
I have a question. It seems that in Estonia things are well. We have these protocols and things are good. Do you have any recommendation for a newcomer country like us for the future in the regard of safeguards? Thank you.
So when you start your project to construct SMR and start operation of SMR, probably you need to be prepared to apply safeguards for that. And I'm happy that this morning I heard that you're already considering preparing stuff for safeguards. And important thing is provide IAEA as early as possible. Then IAEA can think whether what kind of safeguards is necessary for that. And then more efficient safeguards will apply to those facilities. So that means efficient means it's good for IAEA, and in many cases it's also good for facility operator and states. So providing information as early as possible is a good approach.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you for coming to us. Thank you. Good presentation.